Shalom, family. I hope everybody is blessed and highly favored of the Most High. Family, as we're going through this season of feast, as we're preparing for the Passover or Pesach, the brothers and sisters and everybody else in Christian church are at the same time preparing for Easter, which is pagan. And they just don't understand the seriousness of it. Family, the same thing that they're doing on Easter is the same thing that our people repeatedly did, and that was worship other gods. Now, whether these Christians know it or not, when you're celebrating Easter, you are worshiping another god, which is called Ishtar or Astarte in some languages. And in some places, she's also known by Venus. Okay? And we know the scriptures say that Satan deceived the whole world. Now, we have our brothers and sisters still looking around, waiting on the deception to come when they have no idea that they are part of the deception. They've been deceived. The deception been here long ago. And they don't know that they are a part of the people who are deceived. See? And they continue. I don't care how much you tell them about these holidays. They just continue to do it. It's an abomination among everything else. The abomination is we know rabbits do not lay eggs. See, anything that goes against the natural use of what the Most High intended is an abomination. Now, we're told that we can't eat vultures or buzzards. Why? Because they clean up the earth, from dead things. That's their purpose. And if you try to make a meal out of one of them, it's an abomination. You're using that bird for other than what it was intended. Okay? So to say rabbits lay eggs is an abomination. It's a straight up lie. And you have your children participating in it. Now, I know at some point in our lives, before we knew better, we all did it. But once you hear the truth, then you accept the truth and you stop doing those things. But a lot of people hear the truth and they keep right on doing it. And so they will not have an excuse. Okay? Now, there's only one place in the King James Version where the word Easter is. Let's read it right quick. This is Acts chapter 12, and we're going to read verse 3 and 4. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, and delivered him to the 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. That is the only time you will see that word Easter. Okay? And this is the justification that Christians and Christian pastors use to say Easter is legit. This is a deception put in there by the translators of the King James. And it was intentionally put there. It's only in there that once, because everywhere else in the Bible, it always says Passover or Pesach. Okay? If you look it up in the Sefer, it's going to say Pesach. Even if you look it up in the NLT, it's going to say Passover. Or in the Hallelujah Scriptures, it's going to say Passover. It's only in the King James that one time. The rest of the times you read about Passover, it says Passover. But they know that one verse is enough to deceive the whole world, because they're not going to read any further. They're not going to say, wait a minute, this Easter shouldn't be in here. And if you look up Easter, that very word, just look it up in the Blue Letter Bible or Concordance or whatever, the number would be for Easter is G3957. And the definition of Easter is Passover. Okay? So they knew that Easter shouldn't be in there, but they had to put it in there because most translators of the King James were under duress by the Roman Church. They had to put it in there, intentionally. But our people will not read. They will not study. And when other people try to tell them, they just ignore it and keep right on worshiping another God, which got us in trouble all throughout the Bible. That's what we did. See? And I can prove that we did it. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 16 and 18. And this is when the Most High told Jeremiah not to even pray for these people. He was talking about us, Judah. Israel, don't pray for these people. Because if you do, I'm not going to hear you. Let's find out why he said that to Jeremiah. Verse 16. Therefore, pray not for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? Verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. See, they were celebrating that Easter stuff then, making cakes and stuff to the Queen of Heaven, which is Astarte or Ishtar, or some say Venus. See, you know that constellation or star, whatever it is, that they say Venus. That's in honor of her. Okay? That's what they were doing. They were making cakes and buns and stuff like that to the Queen of Heaven. Okay? This is what we did then. This is why the scriptures clearly say there's nothing new under the sun. We have millions of people still doing it. This is a Roman Catholic doctrine they put in there. Okay? From the Council of Nicaea. That you worship on Sunday. That you celebrate Easter on Sunday. They got something called Good Friday. And it's all a lie. But our people will not quit going. Why? Oh, they enjoy. The children get to go and hunt Easter eggs and Everybody go buy their brand new Easter clothes so they can go show them off. The brothers go buy a new suit, and the sisters get a dress and a nice little hat to go with it for that one day. Okay? It's all pagan. It's all false God worship. You're not worshiping the Most High. First of all, you've already broke the fourth commandment, and that's having any Shabbat on the first day of the week. Then you turn around and you break another commandment where we should not have any other gods before him. We shouldn't worship other gods, and you're doing that also on Easter. Okay? Astarte or Easter, if you have the book called Two Babylons, it's an ancient biblical historian. He says in Babylon, they call her Easter. In Greek, it's Astarte. In Canaan, they call her a consort of Baal. Now, if you look up the word consort, it means spouse. Okay? So she is the wife of Satan himself. Satan is sometimes called Beelzebub or Baal. It's the same name. We can prove it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12, verse 22 through 24. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed, and said, Is not this the son of David? Verse 24. But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of devils. So you're talking about Satan himself. Because if you keep reading, it say, Mashiach said, if Satan casts out Satan, then how can his kingdom stand? So we're talking about Satan himself. And Easter or whatever y'all want to call her, is a consort of Baal. Look up the word consort. It means a partner or a spouse, wife or husband. Okay? That's what you're doing when you worship on Easter, family. It's always been Pesach or Passover, never Easter. The word Easter was put in there to deceive, intentionally. This is why we have to read the Bible as a whole. Do not read one verse and let that settle it for you. You see the word Easter in there, you know good and well it ain't called Easter. So start going through other parts of Scripture. Go back in the Old Testament and stuff, and you'll see it's always been Passover or Pesach. Never Easter. Okay? We just have to get out of it, family. We're in the same shape as our forefathers were. If you're still doing that, And then they got this, he rose on a Sunday, but he died on a Friday. Family, I don't care. You can get a calculator that costs $5 million, And you're not going to get 3 days and 3 nights out of Friday to Sunday. You're just not going to do it. Okay? The math don't add up at all. You know, if you correctly read the scriptures and apply it, then you'll know. You can almost know with a certainty that Mashiach was put to death on a Wednesday before the evening Shabbat. And because of it was nearing Shabbat, they could not leave those bodies hanging. This is why the Roman soldiers went out there and broke the other two thieves' legs, which will hasten your death when they do that. But they did not break Mashiach's legs because he had already expired. And so they needed for them people to be taken down. They could not leave them up there overnight going into Shabbat. All right? So if you look at, just look at it. Okay, if he was in the ground Wednesday night, that's his first night in the ground. The next day is Thursday. That's his second night in the ground. The next day is Friday. Okay? That's his third night in the ground. So Saturday, when Saturday comes, that means that's the third day. All right? Thursday was the first, Friday was the second, Saturday was the third day that he was in the ground. But he arose on the Shabbat before Shabbat ended. Okay? He had to. Because if he'd have stayed in the ground after Shabbat had passed, that means he would have been in the grave another night, which would have been 3 days and 4 nights. See, it don't make sense. And if you go by what they say, Friday, that he was put to death, would that mean Friday night he was in the grave? And Saturday night, he was still there. But he arose on Sunday. Do that sound like 3 days and 3 nights to you? No, family, do the math. That's just no way possible. All you have to do is remember what he told the Pharisees when they were looking for a sign. He said, the only sign I'll be giving you is the sign of Jonah, where he spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the world. So shall the Son of Man spend 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the earth. That's your math right there. Friday to Sunday does not match up, does not even come close. Okay? You look at the account of Mary. I'm going to read it from different books. Let's first start with Matthew chapter 28, verse 1. Listen to it closely, family. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. Did you hear that? At the end of the Sabbath. See, they were probably somewhere keeping the Sabbath. No doubt. But when they had made it to where they were going, it was already dawning toward the first day of the week. meaning it hadn't got light yet. It was still dark. Okay? But it was dawning toward the first day of the week. Well, when is dawn? It's before the sun comes up. Practically when you start seeing the sky getting light, but the sun is not yet up. You know, that's dawn. But when they got there, it was still dark, so it said it was dawning toward the first day of the week. And what happened? When they got there, he was already gone. Okay. Let's read it in another version. Let's read it in the NLT. Matthew 28:1. Early on Sunday morning, as the new day was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went out to visit the tomb. Did you see it? Early Sunday morning, as the day was dawning, it was beginning to be light. Sun not up, but it was beginning to be light outside. When they went to the tomb, and what happened again? He was not there. He arose before Shabbat ended the previous day. Okay. I'm going to read one more. This is John chapter 20, verse 1. The first day of the week cometh, Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and see the stone taken away from the sepulchre. Again, it was still dark when they got there. It was already dawning toward the first day of the week. When they got there, he was already gone. He did not spend another night in that grave or tomb, whatever you want to call it. He rose before Shabbat ended, family. Otherwise, that would have been another night. Didn't happen. Okay. Why you keep letting these preachers tell you this stuff, I just don't know. You know. So family, you know, I know that y'all should know these things. But you have friends and family and people that you talk to who are still participating in this foolishness. That you need to take this and make them understand. You are worshiping another God. This is why we are in slavery now. We kept doing it. We were in 6 different major slaveries because every time the Most High would hear us cry out, he'd get us out of slavery, and what we do, we turn around and do it again. We just repeatedly did it. And this slavery we're in now is the 7th and final slavery. You don't get it now, you're not going to get it. Okay? You perish with the heathen. See? We're not going into another slavery, family. This is it. You don't learn now, I'm sorry for you. You know. And, you know, you have to study the scriptures, family, because some things were put in there intentionally that will throw you off, but it can be proven. You know, you can prove it by the timeline of events that happened amongst y'all. You can prove it. Like, there are scriptures that saying that he was killed on the first day of unleavened bread. No, he was already in the ground, family. He ate the Passover meal, or whatever you want to call it, Last Supper, previously, before That's when he ate it. The day before. See? Because that Wednesday, they had his trial and convicted him and put him to death. So he couldn't have ate it, that next day. It don't make any sense. The first day of unleavened bread is what? On the 15th. All right? So there's no way he was still alive then. We just have to watch it, family. Not saying that all of King James is messed up, but it's certain parts where they want to deceive people to get you to continue to worship false gods. And you if you don't research, family, and you don't study, then you'll go for it. You'll fall for it every time. All these pagan practices are a result of the Roman Catholic Church's doctrine. And every Christian church, I don't care what name you put yourself under, Episcopalian or Methodist or Baptist or Pentecostal, you all an offshoot of the Roman Catholic Church. I'm sorry. Y'all adhere to the same doctrines. Okay? That's just the bottom line to that. See, these people never honored the Most High. And to know that they intentionally did things, all you have to do is remember Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, where it said they thought to change times and seasons. And they did. See? They do not want the truth. The Roman Catholic Church, they don't deal in truth. They deal in deception. Okay? False teachings. Let's look at one of the false things they just rejected. This is about Paul. Okay, let's go to Acts chapter 16, verse 16 through 21. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. The same woman followed Paul and us, crying, These men are the servants of the Most High Elohim, which show us unto the way of salvation. See, she had some kind of spirit of divination on her. Verse 18, and this she did many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of Yahushua to come out of her. And he came out the same hour. And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains were gone, and when they saw that, he done got that spirit out of her, they were mad about it. So it continues to say, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers, and brought them to the magistrate, saying, These men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. So you see, family Romans and the Roman Catholic Church, they don't want you teaching things that are truthful. They never have. Even then, just because they healed this woman from that spirit of divination, that troubled them. And so they calling Paul and Silas really troublemakers. They teaching stuff that we ain't supposed to be observing being a Romans. Okay? So, family, anything that's coming out the Roman Catholic, we just don't have nothing to do with that. You know, look at everything they done changed. They changed the Most High's prayer. They changed the Ten Commandments. Look it up. Look at their version and what the Most High actually wrote. It's 2 sets of 10 Commandments. Theirs and the original, Most High. They changed that. They changed the day of the Shabbat from the 7th day to the 1st. And you want to listen to them and observe Easter? Come on now. We got to do better than that, family. And I'm talking to my brothers and sisters who are still stuck in this custom of Easter. Now, what I'm going to do, you'll see throughout the video that I'm going to post pages from the book that's called The Two Babylons. And you can either, most believers I know already have that book, you know, but you can get it from Amazon or on Kindle or whatever. But I'm going to post them in this video, and you can pause it, slow it down, or whatever you need to do to read it. And it's out of the book of Two Babylon. It pretty much explained to you how this stuff got started. That was going on, this egg stuff and Easter stuff and worshiping the Queen. That was going on 1,500 years before Mashiach was among us. It had been going on. Remember we just read back in Jeremiah where they were doing it? Making buns and bread and all this stuff to the Queen of Heaven. And the Most High told Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't you see what they doing? They done provoked me to anger. So they've been doing it. This is nothing new. Okay? All this stuff started around with Constantine and the Nicene Council and all that. They changed all this stuff, family. Get out of it. Rabbits do not lay eggs. That Easter celebration has nothing to do with Mashiach's death and resurrection. Nothing at all to do with it. We celebrate because of when we were freed from bondage of Egypt. We celebrated because Mashiach is our Passover lamb, just like it was when the day that the Most High sent that plague to Egypt and all the firstborn were dead, died, when he told the people to take the lamb's blood and put it on the doorpost and the lintel and close your door and stay in there, and when that death angel or destroyer come through there, that he would pass over you. That's where the word Passover means. Get it? Ain't got nothing to do with no bunny rabbit. Okay? It was that blood from that innocent lamb that they put on their doorpost that the death angel passed by. Fast forward to today. Same exact thing. Only we do not physically have to put no blood on no door. But those of us who are in Mashiach, who believe him, who follow him, who obey the laws, statutes, and commandments, when that death angel comes, the Most High looks down and he sees Mashiach's blood on you. That destruction may pass over you. Okay? You know what it says in Psalm 91. This many gonna drop on this side of you and on the other side. And he say, but it will not come near thee. Why? Because when the Most High looks at his believers, his children, he sees the blood of Mashiach. Okay? Same principle. There's nothing new under the sun, family. I keep quoting that every time. You'll find that out. What happened before is going to happen the same way, exactly, again. Just like we are going back into the wilderness, like our forefathers did, we're going back again. It says it in a couple of places in the Bible, especially in Revelation 12, that Israel is going into the wilderness to be protected. We can read it in the other prophets, where we're going back into the wilderness and the Most High is going to purge out the rebels from among us. Is that not what he did the first time when he got us out of Egypt? He had to purge out a bunch of people then, didn't he? He let a bunch of them just wander around till they died off. Because they wasn't going into the promised land. See? So we're going into the wilderness again. Nothing new under the sun. Okay? Just like the punishment fell on us, severe punishment for keep going after strange gods and stuff, is going to happen again. You keep getting caught in these churches with these strange doctrines and customs, celebrating Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and all that other stuff. You're worshiping other deities, and you will be destroyed for it. If the Most High came today, if Mashiach returned today or Sunday, and you're caught in that church, it's pretty much a wrap for you, okay? Tell you that now. You don't have an excuse. This word is all over the place. We have the internet. You don't know who's watching you at no time. It can be somebody in Brazil watching your video. You don't know, because it's being spread. And especially here in the States. You can't tell me that it's not one person who's still in Christian that ain't heard the truth. You done heard it from somebody. But you're stiff-necked and hard-headed. And that's going to be your destruction. You and your pastor. See, you're not going to be able to go in front of judgment and blame it on the pastor. Yes, he's going to have to pay severely. So will you. You're not going to be able to use, well, that's because what my pastor said. Yeah, that's because you wouldn't listen to people when they were trying to tell you the truth. You wouldn't pick up and open your Bible and read and study for yourself. You're not going to have an excuse. You're not going to be able to blame that on no man, okay? We work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. Your pastor can't work out your salvation. Only you can do that. And that's by reading and studying and following the laws and statutes of the Most High Yah. That's it. That's all. No man is with excuse. Okay? That's why Mashiach told his disciples, If you go somewhere and they don't want to listen to you, don't want to hear you, shake the dust off of your foot and get moving. He said, and let that be a testimony against them in judgment. You know what that means? That you won't be able to say nobody didn't try to tell you. Because he's going to say, oh yeah, well, I had my servants try to talk to you. I had my servants trying to deliver the truth and gospel to you, and you didn't want to hear it. You wanted to keep on doing what you were doing. So that's not an excuse, see. That's why I say shake the dust off your foot, and that's going to be a judgment against them. All right? Okay, I just wanted to jump in here today, family, and since we're in the season where we're going to begin to celebrate the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread, at the same time they're celebrating Easter, you know, just wanted to come in here and issue a few words of caution to those who are still doing it. Family, if you got folks that you love and know, try your best to get them away from it. That's all you can do is try. You can't make them do nothing, but at least you know that you tried to warn them. Okay? And their blood will not be on your hand because you tried to warn them. All you folks out here calling yourself teachers and mores and pastors and all this, if you're not warning the people, their blood is going to be on your hands. Now, if you do warn them and they don't heed the warning, then their blood is on their own hands. So that's all we can do, family. Just try to warn them and talk to them, and hopefully they'll hear you. All right, family. I'm out of here. I just felt the need to say this at this time, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Shalom.